Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. Tisha here, back with another, say it with me now, say what? What? I don't know what happened there, but my Mac just did something crazy. This light is flickering. I guess it didn't appreciate the tone of my say what, but bear with me because some of you all are probably going to be upset with me, but I have to call it like I see it. I have to be honest about how I'm feeling. And that is after the most recent episode, it is clear to me that Baldy and his bird have created a little brat. Where's my water bottle? How dare I? I don't feel like it's going to have the same effect, but act like this is my water bottle. That's right. You heard it here first. Ariella Mae Brown is a little brat. I mean, little birdie. Okay. Bald eagle and bird, I have to let it be known that I don't believe them. After watching last night's episode and hearing Cody talk about how Ariella would melt down at the thought of Cody leaving, I think it is safe to say that Cody was not in no daggone rotation with the other houses because I am a daddy's girl to a T. I mean, that's my homie, that's my friend, at least in my mind he is. If you ask him, he'll say, no, he's not, he's my dad. But in my mind, he's my homie, he's my friend. I am grown and I melt at the thought of my father. I get teary-eyed sometimes when I think about how lucky I am and how blessed I am to have him as a father because he actually sacrificed so much for our family, for his kids, unlike the visor wearing bald eagle. As a little girl, I may have cried, right? I may have gotten upset when it was time for him to leave. But I was taught at a very early age what deployment meant. And later, when my parents got divorced, I learned what having an additional household and additional family meant. My parents sat down with me and explained the importance things in order to make sure that I was okay, that even though there were some emotional transitions there, that I could handle it. They let me know that there were going to be times where I was around one parent more than the other. They made sure that I was good. So to hear that this child, Cody's little sweetie, was not taught that has me questioning the feathered crew. I don't understand why in that moment when Ariella was having one of her episodes, why her bird brain mother could not comfort her and remind her that daddy would be home in 2 more days. Tell her it would be fine. But no, instead, these two idiots, these two clowns allowed their youngest kids to determine how Cody spent time with his family. That joker had the nerve to tell us that his wives try to manage his time when it's clear here that the bird and her little chicken tenders the bird and her chicken tenders were determining how your time was spent all along. So it got me to try to look up this conversation from yesterday so we could break it down. I found an article. I'm going to read it and I'm going to comment the way that we do. That makes it a lot easier for me. It's currently my time, 8:30. Ain't no telling when this will come out, especially the way that YouTube played with me yesterday and took an entire 12 hours to upload my video. Yeah, count your days. But hopefully you guys will get this tonight. The title is Sister Wives. Janelle Brown calls out Robin Brown and Cody Brown for poor parenting. I will make sure I leave the link below. On Sister Wives' new episode, Janelle Brown said her ex Cody Brown and his wife Robin Brown mismanaged the situation with their youngest daughter, Ariella Brown, early in life. Mismanaged? That's a nice way of saying that she jacked it up. Janelle's being nice by saying mismanaged? Nah, you jacked it up. Janelle Brown is no longer holding back when it comes to her criticism of her ex, Cody Brown, calling out her former spouse and his only remaining wife, Robin the I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I don't edit. Calling out his spouse and his only remaining wife, Robin the Bird Brown, for how they raised their youngest daughter, Ariella Brown, 8 in a plural family. I love that Janelle did this, proving to us that Robin isn't the polygamous guru that she pretends to be. Gave me a little bit too much joy, because Robin loves to present herself like she is the spokesperson for polygamy when it wasn't her. It was actually Christine that was that person, because anyone who knows polygamy would do better than what the bird has done. Janelle said, "My kids from the very beginning knew that their dad was not going to always be there. Unlike the Bird's kids, basically. I always felt like Cody and Robin mismanaged the situation with their children. He couldn't be away for more than 3 or 4 days because Ari just gets sad or whatever. I feel like that was poor parenting." Say what? I mean, what? I mean, what? That's what I was going for. I don't know what came out sounding like the bird. She added, through all history of the family, the other kids did fine, and they're fine. They're well-adjusted adults, meaning that the bird talks a good talk. But unlike your kids, Bird, Janelle's kids can survive out there in the real world. This is a perfect place to mention a comment that was left by Paul Ann 7218. It says, "Normal parents want to raise their kids so that when they get pushed out of the nest, they fly. Robin breaks her children's wings so that they can never leave her." Marinate on that, because it's true. This lady purposely stunts her kids so that they continue to be reliant on her and Cody, so that they can fuel his desire to feel wanted and needed. Remember when Janelle said it early on in the season that Robin acts like a damsel in distress, and Cody responds to it that that's not her style. This is what Robin has done all along. Act like the wife that needs Cody, when really she's pulling the puppet strings and he just doesn't see it. Cody explains that early into Ariella's life, he struggled with leaving her for long periods of time due to her emotional response. If Cody has been in rotation, this would not have been an issue. She would have gotten used to the schedule and learned what to expect, which would be, my dad is going to be gone for a little bit, but he'll be back. You then have Cody saying, "Ariella was melting down. She grabbed my leg and wouldn't let me leave. And I'm like, Robin, I need you to drag her off of me." And she says, she's expressing herself, "You're going to have to take like 5 minutes and let her do it. She's just dragging along my leg and she's screaming." That sounds a little bit too much to me, but what do I know? "Don't leave me, Daddy, don't leave me." And I'm like, golly, man, this is hard. Why is it hard? You're only leaving her for a few hours, so what's the problem? It's not like you're actually, I don't know, spending a day with one of your other families or like a whole 24 hours with one of your other families before she's going to see you again. That's never been Ariella's experience. So why is Cody trying to rewrite history and make it sound like he's gone days at a time and Ariella just throws these fits? Because you're not normally gone like that. The story to me was supposed to be about how Robin handled that situation and how she thought about Ariella and said, give her a little bit of time before you go, when really all it did to me was show Robin's inability to operate like a team player by working with the other families, because I'm sure that time that he spent to stay there longer wasn't 5 minutes. I'm sure it was probably more like, I don't know, an hour. Knowing Cody, because his sweetie needed him, and he perished the thought that his sweetie cried a little bit because he left. Meanwhile, he had other families waiting on him because of this one child that Robin couldn't teach what it's like to have your dad leave for a little bit and come back. Does she do it every time he goes out for work? Oh, that's right. He doesn't have a job. However, despite her daughter's struggles, Robin dismissed the idea that she kept Cody from his other wives at the time. You know, she loves her dad and she just wants to be around her dad. And so do his other 17 kids. But those kids apparently don't matter. Only Robin's 5 do. I think that she would have... I think in Robin's eyes, she just wanted Cody for herself. And I think that if it was up to Robin, she would have had more kids, right? But I think because Cody saw the type of parent she was, saw how much her children need her and how they still sleep in the bed and how they do things like buy cribs that the kids don't even sleep in. I think that the way that she parents is the reason why Cody said, bump that, we're not having any more kids. Forget the little dark-haired boy that you see, because we still got these kids that we can't get out of our bed. But, you know, I never stopped Cody from going to another mom's home. No, I didn't. I wouldn't have allowed it. You did stop him from going to other houses. The kids that were coming over to Robin's house, they weren't coming over there to hang with Robin. They were going over there because that was the only way they could see their dad. Because if he wasn't outside faking his work, he was at the Bird's house. Back to the article. In the wake of the 2021 split from Christine Brown, the 2022 split from Janelle, and the 2023 split from Mary, the exes are calling out the discrepancies between their past relationships with Cody and Robin's. It's about time. Christine called out everything for the longest time. And if I was Christine, I would have got tired of carrying these chicks on my back. So the fact that they're now doing it speaks volumes. Robin always, according to Janelle, had a separate situation going on. She even talked about how her children were always scolded if they open up their fridge. And she's not lying. Let's talk about what the fridge said. In all caps, please ask Robin or Mindy before you take any food. Thank you. We know Mindy is her niece, the nanny. So before you take anything from that kitchen, ask Robin or Mindy. Which brings us back to one of the times where one of the kids had a bowl of cereal and Robin said to that kid, that's a meal, that's not a snack. The last time I checked, the only reason why Robin had any food on her table was because of what that OG3 paid for. I can't speak for girls, but I have a son. And one thing I will say is that my child has been eating like a grown man since he finally started growing. because I was worried. He was like 4'6" up until the age of 14. And then out of nowhere, he sprouted up. Thank goodness, because I was afraid he was going to be short like his mama. But with that being said, I know how much that child eats. What do you expect? Do you not expect for these kids to eat? Because cereal for some isn't a meal, it's a snack. These kids were finally experiencing what it felt like to have food on the table and to not be in a situation where they were in poverty, because they were living in poverty before the show. So for you to sit there and get mad at them for eating food, what's the problem? Christine, on the other hand, has opened up about how Cody has favored treatment of Robin and how it's impacted the kids. My kids didn't like going over there because they saw Robin and their dad were a couple and he wasn't in our home. So they were frustrated. Oh, yeah. And that part, before I forget, about Ariella talking about Christine and how she doesn't like Christine or she hates Christine or whatever way she said it, that reflects poorly on them as parents and shows that they've been bad-mouthing Christine. If any other kid has said something like that about Robin, Cody would have lost his sugar honey iced tea. If any other kid was rude like that to Robin, it would have been a big to-do. He would have lost his mind. He would have threatened to punch him in the face and did all that other stuff. Meanwhile, Ariella, who's 8 now, at the time probably was 6, is allowed to say something like that. But if anybody else said it, it would have been trash talk. Oh, I'm not off you. I think I'm going to have to say that for another video. We might have to comment on that one another time because that one took me for a loop. But let's stick to this part of the Ari story. Baldy Locks, bottom line, doesn't get it, and I don't think he ever will. I've never been a part of a plural family, but I've been a part of a family. I'm someone's daughter, I'm someone's sister, I'm someone's auntie, godmom, mom, I'm someone's friend. Good parents, responsible parents, teach their children the importance of caring and sharing and not being selfish and thinking of others. From day one, the first day Robin considered entering this family, rather than conforming to her demands, she and her kids should have conformed to theirs. She shouldn't have been allowed to come in that family and alter schedules, protocols, rules, or anything else like that. She should have been on the same page. And if she couldn't do it, then those other wives should have insisted that she was not the right one for them. And that's it. Point blank to the period. I know that this was all over the place. Y'all, I'm just now getting home. I've been gone since early this morning, went to work, left work, went to my son's school, sat in the parking lot, wrote this up real quick, then went to a meeting because my child is a senior, and apparently senior year is a whole bunch of meetings and information to get us ready for their next steps. So if this was all over the place, I'm sorry, but y'all know I be all over the place sometimes with my notes. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time.